All right, guys, welcome to the video. I'm standing here with Larry Singer, Free from Vacation Fees LLC. Hi, Larry.
Hi, Jason.
So it's a nice day. We're up here in Madison, Wisconsin, and anybody looking to get out of their timeshare, this will be likely one of the most important videos you view because we're going to give you sort of an alternative solution. And I'm just going to ask Larry some questions and he'll explain it to you here. But let's start first by saying, what's the number one issue you see? You've been talking to a lot of people. What's the number one issue you see with people who contact you regarding getting out of their timeshare?
Well, it's just the maintenance fees. These fees go up year after year, and people just don't use their timeshare anymore. They bought them when their kids were young, and they just don't use them like they used to.
Right, and let's face it, like back, I mean, a lot of the people you probably talk to they've owned since maybe back in the 80s even.
Yeah, and even their kids don't want the timeshares. They don't want to take them over for the maintenance fees.
They don't want the maintenance fees, right?
Yeah.
So back then when they bought in, and the pitch is usually the same, but back when they bought into their timeshares, let's face it, back then it was a good deal. You could get out, you could get a great vacation for a cheap price.
I had many friends that bought timeshares back then.
Mm-hmm. It's just that now you can go online and you can buy, cheaper vacations.
Oh yeah.
And in your experience, I think we were talking about this earlier, is the competition or whatever.
Absolutely. There's so much competition out there, and it just doesn't make sense to own a timeshare anymore.
Right. Okay. So fast forward now, a lot of these people bought into the timeshare, whether they've owned 20, 30 years or less. The pitch was always the same. If you don't want it, as you were saying, they're easy to get out of. And in your experience, is that actually true?
Not at all. They're very hard to get out of. And if you go back to the place where you bought them, they're probably going to just try and upsell you.
They're going to upsell, and that's a good point, because maybe those viewing have seen this. I know I've seen it. Like, you'll go online and you'll come across a video or whatnot of somebody who just says, well, just contact your timeshare company and they'll just take it back for free. But is that really likely to happen?
Very unlikely.
Very unlikely, because when they call, they actually want you to call because they can, like you said, they can try to upsell you into something else.
Right.
Okay, that's interesting. And so that's one avenue. And then the other avenue, like we were just talking about earlier, before we started the video, is that those trying to sell, let's face it, it's a lot hard, next to impossible to sell. I mean, what percentage actually resell?
Well, just look on eBay. There's thousands upon thousands of timeshares for sale. Less than 1% of the people actually are able to sell them.
So 1 out of 100 actually resell.
You'll see them listed for all different prices, but most of them have an opening bid price of like $1, and it doesn't go anywhere from there.
Right, so that's just owners coming on eBay, basically asking people to bid on their timeshare for $1 just to take over their maintenance fees. And they still
can't get rid of it.
They still can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
So it is, because I've read, and you've been doing this for a while, but it's not as easy as what people think to get out, whether you're selling or whether you're looking for something else.
Right.
And that's basically why you started Free from Vacation Fees. So let's talk a little bit about that real quick. What exactly is it that you do in very simple terms that is a benefit versus maybe trying to sell or something like that?
We actually transfer the ownership away from the person that wants to get rid of their timeshare. And so we partner with another company that actually is very successful in transferring that ownership. Now, there's fees involved. It's not free, but we are able to do that.
Right, and so let's talk about that, because let's face it, I mean, using this solution, it's going to make people no money. And some people might be a little nervous of that because they've been led to believe they can make money off of selling.
Right.
But just like you say, the chances of people actually being able to sell their timeshare are virtually non-existent.
Right. In our process, we guarantee that we're either going to be able to transfer your timeshare, and if we're not, we'll give your money back.
So it's a money-back guarantee, which
Absolutely.
Obviously is peace of mind. That's what people want. They want to know they're going to get out. So if somebody comes a day to Free from Vacation Fees, they contact you, and I'm assuming you have a form right there on the website.
Yep.
They contact you, and they decide to go forward. It's guaranteed. They're going to get out, or their money is going to be refunded.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a huge benefit because, like you said, you've talked to people who've been trying to sell for 2-3 years,
Yeah.
and
Well, you can go to a broker and try and list it, but they'll pay $1,000, $2,000 to list their timeshare, and they're not getting that money back.
the money's not coming back. No, and so they're still left in the timeshare with the maintenance fees.
Yeah.
Um,
They'll spend years on eBay trying to sell their timeshares. So.
And you get quite a few people that have done that, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So basically, with a transfer, it's just an alternative way to go about transferring their name off the deed.
Right.
And so when they're out, they're out, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Then they're no longer paying the maintenance fees. They're no longer the owner.
Interesting. Okay, so again, now no more our Free From Vacation Fees LLC is a small company. I'm assuming 7, 8, 9 times out of 10 when they call in, they're going to be talking to you or one of 3 people.
Yep, there's not a whole lot of us. Yeah.
Okay, and you've seen it here. They're not pitchy salespeople. They're just going to simply answer your questions.
Yeah.
And then.
No high pressure here. We're not salespeople yet.
All right, guys. So you heard it here. If you'd like to contact Larry at Free From Vacation Fees, simply click
Fill out the
form, or click the contact button below on the website. You see it right there, and he will get back to you at the time you specify.
Absolutely.